And we are back. And we just finished 1987's Juggernaut. Dirty Dancing. Clocking in at an hour and 37 minutes. It's rated PG-13 and available on Tubi for free. Something called Philo. Premium subscription TV or Sling TV, YouTube TV. And I guess to rent on Prime Video. I can't believe you've never seen this film before today. That's so wild.
I've never seen it. I just finished. I was 14 when this thing came out, and Dirty Dancing was not high on the list of 14-year-old movies.
I guess, but I just
14-year-old boy movies anyway.
How did you? I don't know. I knew boys that saw this. I was a year older than you. I was 15.
Well, my friends had no desire, and you explained that there was a bunch of other stuff that came out during that time, like The Lost Boys. Saw that in the theater.
That. That was great. We should talk about that. Well, we should watch that at some point.
And you even mentioned
Evil Dead 2.
Evil Dead 2. Seriously,
The Gate? Which one was that?
The Gate. Yeah, that was the one where these little kids opened a portal to hell, and they were like these little monsters running around.
So I just did a quick Google search. So in the year of our Lord 1987, The Witches of Eastwick. I didn't see it because I hate.
I saw in the theater and I didn't really care for that one, but after the lights went out, they came out and were like, "Hey, everybody, stay in your seats. We want to preview a new film," and it was freaking RoboCop, and oh my god, that was like right up my alley. Just people exploding.
Horrible violence.
Horribly, just brutal violence. That's what I wanted to see as a 14-year-old boy, not Patrick Swayze swiveling his hips with Jennifer Grey.
There's a lot of swiveling in this movie.
There is some heavy hip swiveling going on.
So as far as your RoboCop story, no one likes a bragger, just right off the bat. So Witches of Eastwick, The Lost Boys, which I saw in the theater, The Believers, which I also saw, Prince of Darkness, which I also saw, but that wasn't a good movie. Angel Heart.
Oh, yeah. Wow. Angel Heart.
Maurice with the Phoenix Buchanan. A Return to Salem's Lot. The Gate. A Walk on the Moon. I don't know what the hell that is. Evil Dead 2. I'm sure you saw that.
Many, many times.
The Perfectionist. Nice Girls Don't Explode. The Emperor's New Clothes. I don't even want to down twisted. Oh, wow. Lethal Weapon. The first one. 87.
Oh, yeah.
Holy
I saw that in the theater, yeah.
White of the Eye. I don't know what that is. Young Nurses in Love.
Nice Girls Don't Explode?
That's an actual thing. The Haunting of Barney Palmer. Survival Game. Nightstick. Light of Day. House of Games. My Best Friend is a Vampire. Hellraiser.
Yeah, I saw that in the theater.
Stakeout. I saw that. Your boy Richard Dreyfuss.
I saw that in the theater as well. Yeah.
Broken Noses. I don't know what the hell that is. The Messenger.
A lot of
RoboCop.
stuff.
There it is.
There it is.
God damn, I'm so jealous. I mean, I saw it in the theater and I paid for it, but I don't regret that. Man on Fire. Baby Girl Scott. I don't know what that is. The Occultist. Dirty Laundry, Epitaph, Night Vision, Raising Arizona.
Oh my God, that's like
this
one of my
is a really good year for
films.
films. Can't Buy Me Love, Northanger Abbey, Superman 4, The Quest for Peace, Blind Date, Bride of Boogity, Rampage, Christopher Walken in Deadline, The Secret of My Success. Oh, that's two Michael J. Fox movies. 3 O'Clock High, Harry and the Hendersons, Sorceress, and Full Metal Jacket. It was an interesting year for films, actually.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of these, but I don't remember some of these other ones.
And Dirty Dancing, of course.
And Dirty Dancing.
Which we're supposed to be
talking about. Which is the reason
that
we're gathered here today. Nice Girls Don't Explode. Things burst into flames when a teenager gets romantic, all because of her mother. It's on Tubi. We're going to watch that after this, actually. All right, but getting back to Dirty Dancing. What'd you think?
It was okay. I mean, like I said, this isn't really the type of film that I seek. I mean, it's sort of it is. It's a romance. I was really, because the line from this movie precedes it. The nobody puts baby in a corner. Yes. I was really thrown for a loop by just how out of the blue and just out of nowhere that line comes from. I always thought it was in the course of a conversation or an argument with Jerry Orbach, but no, he just walks up and is like, nobody puts baby in a corner. Out of nowhere. That is just the weirdest thing to just say when you're trying to, I don't know, redeem yourself by dancing I know you think I'm a scumbag who got some woman pregnant, but I'm gonna dance with your daughter on stage, even though I've been fired.
Your heart through my dance.
My swiveling hips will.
Well, I mean, this is the thing. I mean, granted, Patrick Swayze had been in other things like The Outsiders and Red Dawn and stuff like that, but this is the thing that propelled him into
superstardom.
Superstardom. Absolutely, absolutely. This is a juggernaut of a film. I mean, I am a little floored at this box office. According to IMDb, the budget on this was about $6 million, which I think is kind of pricey for an 87 movie. The opening weekend in U.S. and Canada was $3,900,000 on August 23, 1987. When we post this next Friday, this will be it will be at that point 36 years ago.
Wow.
God damn. The gross worldwide on this sucker is $214,577,242. That's pretty dang good.
That's amazing, and I'm betting the studios. I'm betting the studio says that we're still in the red on that.
Oh yeah, of course, of course. And plus, Swayze's not with us anymore, so I'm sure he's not hitting them up for money.
Yeah.
So let's get into this. This is directed by Emile Ardolino and screenplay credit to Eleanor Bergstein. This is the story of baby Houseman, played by Jennifer Grey, who winds up at a Catskills resort for the summer and along the way meets Johnny Castle, played by Patrick Swayze, who is, I guess, the camp dance instructor who swivels his hips into her heart. I don't know.
Her heart and many others.
Yes, absolutely. He was breaking hearts all over that campground. What could have made this better for you?
I mean, nothing. It's a serviceable romance. There's nothing really that objectionable to it.
Cursing.
There's cursing. There's nothing gratuitous. A lot of dancing. It's your sort of typical class war type movie where it's just like, oh, well, we shouldn't be associating with the riffraff and that sort of thing. But Daddy, I love the riffraff, and got to keep it a secret. And then they find out, and I guess her eyes are opened to a world that she has never been experienced to, as far as people having a hard time making ends meet. I mean, for Johnny and Penny, this is like they need these jobs or else they don't eat for the rest of the year.
Right.
And they need to make sure that they do a good job so that they get brought back the following year. So this is like the be-all, end-all for them. And for Baby, it's just sort of like...
This is the summer before college.
This is the summer before college, and we're taking a month-long vacation. Wow, month-long vacation. We don't do that anymore.
No.
Where we get to learn cha-cha dances and
do fun
activities and participate in talent shows and stuff like that. Just I don't think stuff like that exists anymore.
No, this is definitely a story of the time.
Yeah, I think even what's his name, Kellerman, at the end's lamenting about how nobody wants to do this kind of crap anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
European vacations.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Catskills are pretty.
Yeah. I've never been there for a prolonged period of time. Last time I was there for a funeral.
Yeah.
Which was kind of creepy, but
yeah. Again, I mean, what did you think of the performances?
Everybody was great. Yeah. I mean, believable performances from everybody.
A decent script. I mean,
decent script. No, I mean, aside from that weird baby line that everybody loves, everything seemed sort of in place. Nobody was saying bizarre things, going on some weird soliloquies about existence or anything like that.
And as far as, I mean, this is obviously a romance for sure. As far as the relationship between Baby and Johnny, is it believable?
Yeah, I could sort of see it because, I mean, she is just, as soon as she sees him, it's just boing, the eyeball shooting out of her head. Not super subtle, but you could sort of see young girl crushing on some guy.
Older and suave.
Yeah, and he's not really into it because
hips that don't lie.
Yeah. He's probably not really that into it because he has the pick of the litter, to be honest. I mean, everybody's throwing themselves at Johnny, including a lot of like old
biddies,
dowagers or whatever you would call them. here's some extra money for some dance lessons, Johnny. And over time, through the obstacle that they faced in the movie, I mean, this film is, you said 37 years old?
36.
36 years old,
Yeah.
so I won't be giving away much in the way of spoilers. But
you might be in the minority of people that haven't seen it.
Yeah. Well, basically, Johnny and a baby volunteers to fill in for Johnny's partner for some like super important dance thing at another hotel.
Yeah.
And the reason why is because the partner is incapacitated because she has to go to get an abortion. Through the course of them constantly working together, their relationship becomes more than just, I guess, puppy love. And so, yes, the romance definitely seems earned. It wasn't just, oh, my God, love at first sight, which I hate.
No, it's not love at first sight. It takes
at least not for Johnny.
Yes. Yeah.
Well,
hers is more of a crush.
Hers is like a super crush.
Yeah.
So it's I don't really count that as love at first sight either.
Right.
I'm sure people who were crushing on each other who eventually hooked up will claim, oh, love at first sight. No, you're full of crap. It was just your hormones.
Interesting little IMDb trivia. Patrick Swayze had to convince Jennifer Grey to be in this film because she disliked him so much while filming Red Dawn in 1984. You could not tell me that. They looked like they had really good chemistry in this film.
Yeah. And why would he want somebody who they didn't like each other?
It goes on. Relationships between the two main stars varied throughout production. They had already had trouble getting along in their previous project, Red Dawn 1984, and worked things out enough to have an extremely positive screen test. Still, that initial cooperation soon faded, and they were quickly facing off before every scene. There was concern among the production staff that the animosity between the two stars would endanger the filming of the love scenes. To address this, Eleanor Bergstein and Emile Ardolino forced the stars to rewatch their initial screen tests, the ones with the breathtaking chemistry. This had the desired effect, and Patrick Swayze and Jennifer Grey were able to return to the film with renewed energy and enthusiasm, according to IMDb trivia. It's always interesting when you hear stuff like that, because it's like, you could not tell me that from watching this film.
Yeah.
I never would have picked that up, ever.
Yeah. No.
So kudos to both actors for handling their business and getting the job done right. Obviously, this is a movie that I enjoyed it. I loved it in 1987. I don't love it now, but I like it enough that I would recommend this.
Yeah, I mean, it hasn't aged poorly or anything.
No.
It actually still holds up as a decent story.
Yes,
And like I said, I've only seen fragments of this movie in my entire life. I've never sat through the whole thing. And I haven't even seen enough fragments to basically say, yeah, I know what the movie is.
Right.
This was me pretty much going in fresh, and it's a good story.
Yeah.
It's, like I said, it's not my cup of tea.
Sure.
It's not something I'm actually going to go, I got to see that again.
Right. But I think if you're like a nostalgia seeker or someone who lived in that time, maybe a trip down memory lane to go
you won't be
rewatch
disappointed.
this won't be. Yeah. It's funny because we've had this conversation before where stuff lives better in nostalgia.
Yeah.
And this, fortunately, still holds up.
It survives.
Yeah, it still holds up. The performances are all good. The script is decent. There's some interesting social commentary addressed. There's some bangers as far as the soundtrack. That Jennifer Warren song, I mean, I don't think she ever needs to work another day in her life. I mean, that song played until everyone's ears bled, right?
Yeah. And that wasn't, the funny thing is like sometimes most of the song was sort of like period appropriate.
Yes, there
were a couple of out of place songs, and I guess that last one is one of them. But it's like so iconic
that it doesn't matter
with that scene that it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
I think there was sort of like a disco-ish sound.
Yes,
disco-ish
when they were at the cabins, like right before he punches Bobby or something.
Yeah, that one was a bit out of place.
Yes,
they probably
and also when he's initially leaving the camp. And they're playing his song in the background.
Oh, yeah, you told me that.
Yes.
He actually had a hit song.
He had a hit song.
I did not know Patrick Swayze.
She's like the wind. Yes. I did not have that 45.
Was that something going on? Because it seemed like back then, everybody was like, "I'm gonna make a song." Like Eddie Murphy, remember Party All the Time?
That holds up. Like, I've actually listened to that like within the last 4 months, and I was like, God damn, this is a fun song. I don't remember the song, but Barbra Streisand, I guess when she was dating Don Johnson, they had a duet at some point in the 80s.
Don Johnson was a singer?
Don Johnson had a song with Barbra freaking Streisand. Yes. Yes.
Oh my God.
Yes.
I don't picture Don. I hear Don Johnson's voice in my head, and I just don't imagine him singing anything.
I think he might have had an album.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, he was...
You know what? A lot of people have albums. That, like, doesn't Jeremy Renner have an album?
I think so, yeah. He's got a band, I think. Keanu has a band.
Kevin Bacon.
The Bacon Brothers.
That's just so...
Yeah.
It just seems so out of
Haley
place.
Steinfeld.
Didn't she start out as a singer?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, she's in those Pitch Perfect movies, too. She's got a really good voice on her. Mm-hmm. There's nothing that girl can't do. She's pretty amazing.
Yeah, she's excellent.
Yeah, she's a good actress, and she's a really good singer. Yeah. But let's get back to Dirty Dancing. There is a remake. Stay the hell away from it.
I saw parts of that while you were watching it.
I saw the whole thing because I am a masochist, and I couldn't tear myself away. It is awful.
That looked like
awful.
A steaming turd from what I saw.
It was terrible.
It was like
Terrible.
Abigail Breslin and like an animated pile of meat as Johnny.
Was Johnny.
Castle.
Yeah, that guy had the charisma of a Hot Pocket. And Deborah Messing's her mom.
Hot Pockets.
Deborah Messing's her mom.
And there
Sarah
was like
Hyland's the sister.
And then wasn't there like some sort of like subplot with the mom like cheating?
Or no, she wasn't cheating, but she was having marital troubles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, the mom in this movie completely oblivious to absolutely everything occurring.
Or was she? So, okay, I'm glad you brought that up because my interpretation was that she sort of had her eye on everything, but she was she would only step in when she needed to. Like when the husband's going to
stand up.
Yeah, make a ruckus or something. She basically is like, sit down. Sit your ass down.
But did it have anything to do with about her knowing what was going on at all?
I mean, so
I just thought it was just she didn't want to have a scene.
Campground. You're on vacation. Your daughter is gone all night shacking up with Johnny Castle. You have to know that she's not in bed.
Johnny Castle.
I know. I love that name. It's so ridiculous. You have to know. But
I don't know. She seemed like she was. I mean, even when he comes back after helping out with the abortion, she's like, "Is everything okay, honey?" He's just like, "Go back to sleep."
But I think that she, and again, this is just my interpretation. I think that she was more aware of things than people gave her credit for. But again, I think she only stepped in when she needed to. So that's my interpretation of it. I could be wrong, but I don't think I am. But whatever.
Maybe. Yeah. For the most part, she was a non-factor in the entire movie.
He could have been a widower.
Yeah.
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 Absolutely.
And I'm betting. What was the dad's name?
Dr. Houseman.
I'm gonna wager Dr. Houseman is never going to Kellerman's for a vacation ever again.
Never. You were so funny. You were like, that's that dude's worst vacation ever.
The worst vacation ever. He's just like, my daughter's involved with people getting abortions.
His name is Jake Houseman.
Houseman.
Interesting. Jake Houseman, Lisa Houseman, and Marjorie Houseman.
Yeah.
And Francis/Baby Houseman.
Anyway, yeah, Jerry Orbach was not having a good time in this movie.
No. Did you have a favorite character?
Am I one of the kids? No, I didn't really have a favorite character. No. I mean, everybody was fine in this movie. There were a lot of characters I did not like. I did not like the owner's son. He seemed like a real douchebag.
Grandson.
Oh, it was his grandson?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. The grandson seemed like a complete douchebag.
Yeah. Well, I think he was supposed to be sort of like a caricature of this whole like person of privilege who doesn't, he's so unaware, right? He thinks like, oh, yeah, I'm the whole package. Everybody wants me.
He even says that.
He even says that, right?
He's like, people say I'm a pretty good catch.
Right.
And
because I have 2 hotels.
Well, that was the line. It's like, what does that guy have that you don't have? Oh, he doesn't have 2 hotels.
Right.
Yeah. And then he's just like touching her hair. Ugh,
yeah. And the guy who plays Robbie as well.
Robbie's a douchebag too.
D-bag.
Yeah. And I like how he's so confident in the fact that he's not a douchebag. At the end, he just completely outs himself. He gets like this envelope full of money, and he's like,
no, I think it was a recommendation for Yale or something.
Oh, really? I thought it was like a tip or something.
Oh, it could have been. Actually, I don't know. I think it was I thought initially.
Orbach gives him an envelope full of something.
Yeah.
And he's just like, oh, and yeah, thanks for being cool about the whole abortion thing. Yeah, if he didn't say that,
he would have been in the clear.
Maybe the mom wouldn't have been able to hold Jerry Orbach back.
Yeah, yeah.
And that was like another thing. We discussed this, but why was Johnny covering for Robbie? As soon as Jerry Orbach was like, you get a girl, you ruined some girl, and now you're messing around with my daughter. He should have been like, I didn't get her pregnant. It was Robbie who got her pregnant.
Could it have been? And he makes this argument with her, like the whole like, oh, I don't think you were ever going to tell your dad about me. Could it have been his whole perception that because of who I am, it doesn't matter what I say, I'm still in trouble because nobody's going to believe me? It sort of ties in with the ending where, or towards the end when he basically tells her, oh yeah, you were right about that old couple stealing.
Oh yeah, that was like another little side adventure there.
Adventure, right. So he still got fired because they just didn't like him.
Yeah.
Because he represented something that they couldn't ultimately control.
Oh yeah.
So I think
fear what they can't control,
exactly.
And nothing can control
Johnny
Castle's hips. Mm-hmm. It's just like women kryptonite. They just cave under the power of the hips. Whose
hips are more?
Where are you going with this?
I don't know. I can't even find the word.
Are you trying to make a comparison with James Bond?
Yes, I was gonna say.
Yeah, I knew you were going there.
James or Johnny?
No, James. James gets women to melt even after he's murdered their husbands and fathers. Yeah.
Oh, husbands too. Husbands that was
too.
Like Belushi, right?
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
That was just so ridiculous.
Ridiculous. The guy wasn't even dead in the ground for a day, and she's already like.
It's just like
having sex with James.
Oh my God, James! You know, he just broadcast that message from his equipment.
Crazy. Yeah. What did you think of the social commentary in this film?
I mean, it was there.
You don't want to deep dive on it?
I mean, it's like I said, it's there. It's not really like hammered over your head to the point where you're annoyed by it or you even really notice it too much. This is the type of story that's been told like a million times. It's just, you know, you're better than this guy. You shouldn't be with him, but I love him. And drama ensues because of that. And then at the end, they get together. It's not really an original story at all. But
I find it entertaining.
The reason why the story gets told so many times is because it's been told in entertaining ways for centuries now. Yeah, so as far as like it being a social commentary, I mean, nothing really changes. It's Johnny's still Johnny. She's still who she is. We don't really get to see some sort of epilogue where it's like years down the line and something has changed at Kellerman's where now everybody's just copacetic and everybody gets treated the same. Yeah. No, it's for all we know that was the last season of Kellerman's. And
well, I think this is also kind of like shining a light on the fact that this does exist. There is prejudices against people because of who they are and where they come from. And it's unfortunate because people make these preconceived judgments based on that. Baby's father had this preconceived notion of who Johnny was, but he really didn't know who Johnny was. He just assumed that Johnny was a piece of shit. Meanwhile, granted, he's sleeping with his daughter, but it wasn't what he thought it was, I guess. And then you also have the whole thing about how employees and employers and that at least in this particular situation where the employers kind of lord their power over the employees. And for the most part, the employees have to eat crow because of the necessity, because of whatever responsibilities they have, that they're willing to be humiliated or talked down to or put into a position where they sort of have to do a thing that maybe they don't even want to do. I mean, in the beginning of the story, he's basically telling the servers, like, you go out there and you make sure that the women here have a nice time. Mm-hmm. You make sure the daughters all have a nice time. But yet when Johnny and his crew come in, he's like, The women, you teach them how to dance, and that's it.
Yeah.
You keep it moving.
Yeah.
So that was kind of interesting. And also that sort of ties in with the mindset of the father, who put more value on the young man that was going to the Ivy as opposed to the trailer trash Johnny Castle.
Well, I mean, the wait staff were all like, sons and daughters of the people that went there.
Right.
Whereas the dancers were just like, oh, well, he's just some dancing dude from the wrong side of the tracks.
Right. And there's that scene where Baby, I think, initially goes. Is it the first time she goes into that where it's like staff quarters? Don't go past here
with the watermelon.
Right.
Yeah.
So there is that kind of separation and authority that is lorded over like the lesser class, if you will.
Yeah, I mean, I think the only reason why she got to go is because the guy just couldn't carry 3 watermelons.
Yeah.
And she was helping him bring one up.
Right.
He was like, you can't go up there.
Right.
You can't go up there. And then suddenly he was just like, all right, well, carry it up.
Anything else? Oh, I was also going to mention, we saw this with the kids. Kid 2 fell asleep. Kid 1 powered through and said she didn't particularly care for it. And I found that interesting that she said that she found Baby annoying. What did you think of Baby?
I didn't have any problem with her.
No?
I didn't really think she was annoying. I just thought she was a young girl who was
incredibly naive.
Naive, but also you could see in every way that we're describing her character, she was clearly somebody who wanted to help the world. She was talking about
joining the Peace Corps.
Going to college for economics in like third world nations or something like that. So she clearly wanted to help people that were out of her, I guess, class or economic class, but she was naive in that she didn't know anything about how these people lived or existed. And I mean, and these are all American.
Right.
Everybody's American. Imagine her going to Vietnam or
Rwanda,
someplace like that. That's going to be 10 times more than what the hell she's just experienced. And imagine going and thinking, oh, well, everybody's just, would they get along somehow? Yeah, sure, the economy's not as good here as it is there, but nobody's being forced to do stuff that they don't want to do. Okay, well, you have a little taste of it in Kellerman's Catskill camp, where it's absolutely mild. Meanwhile, after college, you're going to join the Peace Corps
and go to some third world country.
If you want to see people doing something they don't want to do, you're going to have a lot of opportunity, and it's going to be more than dancing the merengue or whatever the hell the grandson wanted him to do.
Yeah,
it's going to be it's going to be sewing up shoes until your hands bleed or something like that.
Yeah.
I keep saying,
Yeah.
I'm trying to be more conscious about your nose.
That's all right. Everybody says it.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, I did not find her character annoying. She played it well. She was just a naive young girl who I guess did a lot of growing up during this summer with the help of Johnny Castle.
What did you think of Johnny Castle?
Great name.
Just
total 80s.
Although this is supposed to be 1963 in the movie.
Oh, it did come out in the 80s, though.
It did come in.
Although guys with cool names is not really an 80s thing. There's always like idiotic name, Mike Hammer. And,
yes. What are your 3 in the Swayze trifecta?
Oh, Roadhouse. Roadhouse number 1. I guess Point Break.
That's my number 1.
I know that's your number 1.
Yeah.
I just love Roadhouse. It's so ridiculous. We reviewed that and we had so much fun.
It's so much fun. It's so dirty. It's so dirty
ridiculous.
and silly. Yeah.
Yeah, listen to the Roadhouse review.
Yeah.
It's good stuff.
Yeah.
Probably the last, I would probably say Ghost. Yeah.
All right.
I never saw Steel Dawn where he's in the Mad Max. Red Dawn is more of an ensemble piece, so I don't really...
it's interesting that you mentioned that, because I was gonna my third one, because I would flip your 1 and 2. My third one was gonna be The Outsiders, because I love that movie so much.
It's also an ensemble,
but it's also an ensemble.
Yeah. And he's not really. It's not really his story. He's like a side character.
A side character. Yeah, I guess it would have to be Ghost. I mean, what other?
It would either be Ghost or this.
He was also in Donnie Darko, but he's not really a big.
He's not. No, he's minor character in that. Yeah. Those are his big, like, starring starring roles.
Or the things that propelled him into just
Yeah, I mean,
fame.
Dirty Dancing and Ghost were monster hits, like crazy hits.
I'm surprised we didn't. Well, I'm surprised I didn't put Dirty Dancing in the top 3 because the summer of 1987, I saw this in the theater 3 separate times.
Wow.
Yeah, this was one of those films that The Lost Boys, I also saw repeatedly, ridiculously enough. I'm trying to think, but I feel like the story in Ghost is more solid than this. I mean, this is like a fun movie, though.
It is, but I think Ghost is more fun. Plus, it's got the whole supernatural, the romance. It also has a sort of iconic song associated with it.
Oh, yeah. Also sung by the Righteous Brothers.
Yeah.
Well, this is just one Righteous Brother in this movie.
Yeah. Yeah, I just feel Ghost is just a more entertaining film.
I'm looking at Swayze's IMDb. He was in Skate Town, USA.
Really?
1979.
Wow.
It's his first movie, actually.
He got a little cameo shot in the trailer.
Yeah, and then his next thing was a TV movie called The Comeback Kid, followed by an appearance in MASH in 1981. The Return of the Rebels TV movie, 81. 82 TV movie, Pigs vs. Freaks. I want to see that. 82 TV movie, The Renegades. Was that a TV movie? I thought that was a TV show series.
A Renegade was a TV show with Lorenzo
Lamas. Was there a show where it was like these kids? You know what? It is because look, so then Toto Rosanna, the video, he's in it in 1982. He was in The Outsiders in 83. The Renegades TV series, 6 episodes in 1983.
I don't know.
Who was in that?
I don't recall that.
Was it like Pamela Sue Martin or something? Who was the girl? Randy Brooks, Paul Moons, Tracy Scoggins. That's who it was. Robert Thaler, Brian Tochi, Fausto Barra, Kurtwood Smith.
Oh, Clarence Boddicker.
And James Luisi. Well, there's other people in it, but those are the primaries. Yeah, I remember that show. Tracy Scoggins. Uncommon Valor, 1983. Grandview, USA, 84. Red Dawn, 84. North and South. I love that miniseries. He always had a mullet, even in Civil War time, I feel like.
Yeah.
Youngblood in 86. North and South Book 2 miniseries, 86. Amazing Stories. He was in an episode, 86. And then came Dirty Dancing in 87. He followed that up with Steel Dawn. We got to find that and watch it. Tiger Warsaw. I don't know what the fuck that is. Dalton Roadhouse, 1989. Next of Kin, 1989.
Next of Kin.
Ghost, 1990. Bodie, Point Break, 1991. His Piece de Resistance. Something called The Player. Oh, was he in the Altman movie? I didn't know that. 1992, uncredited. City of Joy.
He was probably playing himself because that film was all about Hollywood, wasn't it?
Yeah. Oh, that's right. I forgot. He was in Tu Wong Fu. Thanks for everything, Julie Newmar, 1995.
With Wesley Snipes.
The real Wesley Snipes.
Wesley Snipes.
And John Leguizamo. Yes, that's right. Donnie Darko, 2001. And there's other stuff in between. I'm just not reading it. But sadly, Monsieur Swayze passed in 2009. 1 to 10. What are you going to give this film?
I'd give it like a 6.5, 7.
6.5, 7. I think I gave The Flash a 7, right? Or 7.5. I'm going to give this a 6.5. You know what? I'll go 7.
6.5 for me.
I'm going to say 7. You know what? From where it starts to where it ends, it's a decent script. It's a solid story. The performances are all good. The soundtrack is transcendent. And I think it's a great film to, like, I don't know about younger audiences. I think younger audiences have a different expectation, shall we say, or different wants as viewers. So I don't know if this is going to appeal to a younger audience so much. But I think for people in our age group, this little walk down memory lane might be. And the nice thing here is that it holds up. Sometimes when you watch things again, it's like, oh, I don't remember it being this terrible, but it is.
No, this was
good.
This was fine. I could totally see a film like this being released now. It didn't feel dated.
No.
It felt like a decent romance movie.
Yeah. I mean, certainly better than what's on the Hallmark Channel.
Oh, Jesus, yeah.
Yeah.
The Hallmark Channel, they make poor copies of stuff like this or remakes like that horrible remake of Dirty Dancing that you mentioned.
Which was terrible. I still can't believe I sat through the whole thing. And I texted everyone.
You like watching horrible
I really
stuff.
do. Yeah. I need to own up to that. Yeah. I really do. I texted like 4 people and they were like, what are you doing with your life? Everyone was like, I don't know you. What are you doing with your life? Because I screenshotted the TV and I'm like, I can't believe this was a thing. Like, when did this happen?
And aside from the extra stuff with the mom, it was like almost shot for shot, wasn't it?
It really was, but it was so poorly done. Like, you could see that there was like no budget on that other film.
And they had like covers of the songs.
Yes. Yeah. Well, that stuff is money. Like that stuff is, but still, it's just, I still can't get over how bad that was. Like, not even good bad.
Yeah.
Like, just bad. So so if you're going to see Dirty Dancing, my advice would be to see the original with Patrick Swayze and Jennifer Grey.
Please don't see the remake by accident.
Yes, it's just shite. It's just shite. It's not worth. Again, I think I just wanted to. I was just so mesmerized because I'd never heard of it. Was that ever advertised? I don't.
The first time I ever heard of it was when you turned it on by accident, and there it was.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't even on a real channel. I think it was on This TV or something.
Yes, it was on This
or HD
with like that weird
movies,
weird perspective because they're not HD, so it's all distorted.
Yeah.
You didn't even watch it. You were watching a film that was like stretched out and distorted. Yeah. You were addicted to crap.
I really am. And I need to own that. But I'm also, I do own it because I will also say, like, Krull didn't hold up.
No.
Yeah, Xanadu didn't hold up.
Ooh.
That was terrible.
Yeah.
I felt so. Weird Science is freaking awful.
Oh, it's just so cringy.
Yeah. I will admit that, and it's funny because once I've seen it, I can't unsee it. And then I'm done. And it's funny because you had bought me the DVD for Xanadu. And I was so happy because I hadn't seen it in forever. And after I watched it, it went right into the Goodwill box. I was like, that's trash. That's trash. I should have left that alone. That would have remained. It should have
lived in that part of your brain that a little child is still in there watching it and enjoying the hell out of it.
Right. Experiences.
Once the adult sees it, it's just like, what
was I thinking?
You just want to smack that little kid in your head. What were you thinking, you stupid little shit? Yeah.
But I still think this is worth a watch. And again, I mean, for a film that's 36 years old, that's a person. Yeah. That is a person. 36 years old. I mean, it still holds up. And I'm always impressed and fascinated because you see stuff, whether from this time or sooner, like there have been obviously other films closer to our timeline, our current timeline, where you're just like, what was that? Like Smile. And it's like, how did this happen? Like, who greenlit this?
I like how Smile is our go-to for just modern films that suck that everybody loved.
I know. I still don't understand that. I don't understand it. But anyway, I feel like this is definitely worth the time. I think it will definitely, if you are from our generation, the trip down memory lane. No, because I don't, like, G hated it. I mean, she didn't hate it, but she just wasn't into it.
She's young.
But that's what I mean. Like, I
don't think this type of film would appeal to young kids.
Right. So I think that if you're under 30, this is not for you.
No.
But if you're over 30, I think this would work.
Maybe people in their mid-20s.
No.
Really?
No.
Anyway.
Because you're still in a different mindset in your 20s. Who I was at 25 is not who I was at 30.
All right.
So, okay, that's it from us. Well, again, where did we see this? On Sundance TV, actually, with commercials.
With commercials, which weren't egregious.
It wasn't bad, but still, it was a pain in the ass. I think it's also playing for free on Tubi, but you can also buy rent on Prime. So, it is accessible if you want to see it. I think I recommend this for older folks, not younger. Okay, and that's it from us, and we will bid you all a
good night.
Good night.